Oh. Do it again.
Well, they can always see us.
We couldn't see you guys because I had to do something there anyway. And the other side. Lee circles. And reverse. And shoe circles. That was weird. And reverse. And ping circles. And reverse. And reverse. And block. Okay, you can put away your sticks. Head turns. And center, and right ear up. And relax, and left ear up. And relax, and left ear again. And relax, and left ear again. And relax back to center, cross the hands on the chest, raise the chin. And relax. Drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. All right, follow Annie.
Cross the hands on the chest. Raise the neck.
And relax. Drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. And relax back to center. Head rolls. And down to center and reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. And reverse. And good. The qua. And reverse. And good. Belly rolls. And reverse. And good. And good. Okay, in the past couple of days, we've been talking about the chi path through the body in relationship to these exercises and how important it is to have a mental guide for your chi as you go through this. So I wanted to expand on that and show you a little bit about something about how it kind of works in real life. So if Annie will cooperate with me, I want Annie to hit me in the nose. All right? You see how happy she was to do that. All right? So why don't you hit me with your left? All right? But not that. Just come up with 6 months. Okay. So we're 6 inches away. 6 months. So she's coming forward here, and she has intention, and the intention is expressing it in her body. And whether she means to or not, that's going to bring her chi up there too. And it's going to go on some kind of path. If she's very well trained, it'll be a very efficient path. If she's not well trained, it may be an inefficient path. But one of the things I can do from a Tai Chi point of view is listen, Tingjin, listen to her path. So again, she comes up, and this is kind of difficult to do for her. Switch your feet around. It'll be a better punch for you. All right. This is a little difficult for her to just stand there, but go ahead and just stand there. So I'm going to block her, but it's not just like physically blocking someone away. It has more to do with touching them and listening inside them to see if you can feel their chi path. All right? So again, all right, boom. And now I can feel it. All right? If I can feel her chi path, that means I could potentially do something to it. So what I do is connect, all right, give me a chi path again. I connect my chi path to her chi path. I'm not even interested in a sense, in her physical body. Give me some chi again, right? What I'm interested in is her chi path. And essentially, it's like I can go down her chi path to the root of her chi path and disrupt her balance. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The stronger her chi path is, the easier that is for me to do. So if her chi path is very weak, it's very weak, right? She just is going to disappear, right? So just when I touch you, just soften your shoulder. Soften your shoulder. Just disappear. Disappear. I can't do anything. She's disappeared, right, in front of me. That's actually one of the 36 jin, the 36 special skills, all right? So again, she goes to punch, she just disappears. There's nothing there for me to deal with. Because she's so soft, she just disappeared underneath. Most people don't do that. They will do exactly the opposite. So, right, you be the opposite, right? I'm going to interrupt her. She's going to get even stronger. And when she gets stronger, again, right, she gets stronger, what I did was just go down her chi. Her chi path is like an electric current going through her body. Or maybe it needs to be, the image needs to be something more like the electric wires that carry the current. You just follow those wires down and you put your chi into those same wires that she's constructed. And it goes down to the ground where she's standing and she's going to lose her balance. So she had to step backwards. Sometimes you can't do that. Again, she's too far forward, right? So in that case, then you as Master Zhang used to say,
you do-si-do.
You do-si-do. You help her do what she wants to do. What she wants to do is punch me in the nose, but you help her keep moving in that direction. Now, very few of you, except Jill, who likes to go out and rumble on Friday nights, but except for Jill, who likes to fight, you're probably not going to go out and fight and have this kind of thing. But you can use exactly the same skills in your everyday life. So what I was thinking about while we were talking about this is closing a car door. Car doors are heavy. And if you close them the wrong way, you can jack up your shoulder. Some of you may have done that before, right? Where you grab the car and you're in a bad position and you try to force it, and what happens is it feeds back into you and you get a bad shoulder. Okay, so how does this skill help with a car door? You can feel the chi path in a car door. It doesn't have to be alive. When you touch, right, so here's the car door, I'm touching the top of the car door, I'm going to close it. When you touch it, I know this sounds strange, but honest to God, you can do it. You can feel the structure of the door. And I'm not talking about just the square structure, I'm talking about the hinges. If you can feel the hinge with a little experience, you can figure out how to close it. So there are two ways to close a car door. One of them's good, one of them's not so good. If the car door So this is the car door, right? Annie's going to hold it out in front of me. If I just stand straight with the car door and try and force it, that's not very efficient. So instead, come around here a little bit, right? Instead, I'm going to stand to the side. Here's the car door open, here's the car door closed. I'm going to stand to the side, and there's two ways that you can do it. You can pull it toward you and then push it, or you can move around a little bit and just push it closed. When you feel the hinges there, with a little experience, you ought to be able to just automatically intuit that pulling it toward you and then pushing it is really hard on your shoulder.
And not efficient.
And it's not efficient. If you just step around and then it's just one short push, which you're doing with your body weight, when you pull it, you tend to just use your shoulder. When you step around and push it, you're using your body weight. The body weight does it, not your shoulder. All right? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All
I'll
right.
put the door away.
Put the door away. All right. And I know that sounds like a little thing. But the more life you see, the older you get, you want to get efficient in your movements, because otherwise you will screw up one of your joints. And the joints that screw up the most are the shoulders, the knees, and the lower back. And you can avoid all that with this one weird trick, right? Is just listen to the situation. Right? And I mean that listening is obviously a metaphor, but it's really real. Right? You really can tell when you touch someone. Right? So you could just be dancing. You don't have to be in conflict, right? You could just be dancing. When you're dancing with someone, you can feel their hands. You can feel the bottom of their feet. And that will tell you whether they're comfortable, whether they're balanced. If she starts to get unbalanced, you can feel that and you can adjust to that. You can feel her waist. You literally, you have a sense.
It's spacious awareness.
A kind of spatial sense that you can feel in other people. Do you all know what scopisthesia is? It's a really ugly scientific name for the feeling that somebody is watching you from behind yourself. Now, I think I've told you this story before, but I'm going to tell you again. I had two, in my life, I'm sure I've felt it before, but I had two really intense experiences of that. One, I was leaving the practice ground, and there's a big set of steps, like 20 steps or so, because the practice ground was sunken. And I was up, and as I approached the top of the steps, I felt a burning on the back of my head, like somebody had a lens and was focusing sunlight on the back of my head. Not enough to burn it, but enough to be really obvious, right? And I got up to the top of the steps, and I just whipped around and looked straight back at where I was coming, and there was Master Zhang standing there staring at me, and he just smiled a little bit, and then he went on about his business. All right? The other one, I had left practice. It was not the same day, but I had left practice. And I was driving down the street on the south of Golden Gate Park, Lincoln, which is really almost kind of a highway. It's a separated two lanes on each side with a median in the middle. And I was driving too fast. It was Sunday morning. There was no traffic whatsoever. But I was driving too fast. I was probably doing 45 miles an hour, and it's probably a 25 or 30 mile an hour range. Anyway, it was like it hit me like that. There's a cop watching me. And not 2 seconds later, behind me, right, this car pulls out of the parking lot and pulls me over and gives me a speeding ticket, right? I absolutely knew that he was watching me. Right?
Physically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I sensed it, but that's scopesthesia, meaning the 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 sensation of realizing that you're being watched.
Our birds.
Our birds in the back, they know when you're watching them. We have a big platform feeder, and sometimes there's 25 or 30 birds back there. Sometimes there's just a few. All kinds of birds. If you're sitting at the table and you're staring at them, a lot of them will stop and turn and look at you.
Look at you.
And they'll just stand there looking at you until they figure out you're not going to eat them. Because they feel your mental intention on them.
Our focus.
Why do they feel that? Because that keeps them from getting eaten by cats and things, right? Joe, you look like you got something to say.
Well, I would say, funny you should mention cats. So this is a common thing for me is I'll be working at my computer and I'll feel being stared at. And I'll look over and it's my cat doing the death stare, like it's time to feed me.
My food bowl is empty and
The
it's
cat death stare, that's right. Why are you wasting your time on a keyboard when you should be petting me, all right? Something like that. Okay. When you practice any of these exercises, you want to turn Tingjin on. Even though no one's staring at you, hopefully, and even though you're not doing push hands with someone, you have to be in the frame of mind of doing push hands. The frame of mind of being aware of someone staring at you. So it's a kind of openness to receiving information from the world that normally you pay no attention to. It's not that you don't have the ability to do it, you just haven't paid any attention to it. So when we'll finish here with some shoulders and some elbows. All right? You're not just in empty space doing this. Someone's touching you. You are in interaction with that person or with that force. You can think of it as wind moving you. You can think of it as waves in the ocean moving you. But you're interacting with the world. Now, I'll show you what I mean. So Annie's going to come up here and push me in the shoulder. All right. So she's going to push me. Let's say push me here.
Okay.
All right. The easiest thing for me to do when she pushes is to retreat, and I'm going to pump, right, as she pushes. Keep pushing. But at a certain point, I can't go back any further. I'll fall over backwards. So what do? You circle it. Pong, Lu, On, Chi. That's Tai Chi in a nutshell. It's about connecting with energy that is all around you and moving into you and away from you and across and up and down. Being aware of it and then dealing with it. And the other side. And reverse. And alternates. And reverse. And double. And reverse. And good. Elbows. And reverse. And the other side. So let me show you something. Annie, just stay right there. This is a reverse elbow strike, right? Up into somebody's chest or somebody's nose. So if Annie slowly does a reverse elbow strike up toward my nose next time, right? Keep going. All right, I saw it going to happen. I can feel it happening. If I just try to resist it straight on, and she's in a good position, she's still going to punch me in the nose. My hand may be in between, but I'll still end up getting punched. So instead, as she very, very slowly comes back, bring that energy back. You feel the energy and you just reroute it. You just have it. You're not trying to stop it. You're just trying to move it a little. What's that?
Redirect.
Redirect it, exactly. All right, and reverse. So this same skill of redirection, redirecting energy, can be used in interpersonal relationship. So those of you who happen to be working to become therapists, you can use exactly the same idea. When somebody gets upset or angry, their energy may be coming toward you, or it may just be going out into the room, but it may be coming. What do you do? All right? How do you deal with it? Well, you redirect it. You don't try to stop it. You don't try to crush it. You redirect it, just like Annie's energy. So I know I've told you this story before too, but I'll tell you again. I'm an old man now. I just tell the same stories over and over and over. Once, up in our little neighborhood, up on, what was the name of the mountain we lived on? You can-
I forget.
Okay, anyway, we lived up on one of the mountains in eastern San Francisco. And the streets were built in the 20s or 30s, and they're extremely narrow and windy around, right? And people park on one side and they park on the other side, which means there's one lane that you can drive down, which is fine
Very
unless
carefully.
somebody's coming the other direction. And then one of you has to pull over and let the other one through. I'm coming home one night about 9 o'clock. It's pitch dark. And I end up behind this guy who's parked in the middle of the street. And he's parked in the middle of the street because there's another guy heading right at him, and they're both parked there, mad at each other for not moving. Well, I can't get home, right? So I sit there for a minute, and I finally realize this is a face-off. They're going to sit there until they both die. So I get out of the car, and I walked by the first car and looked at the guy, and it was a little white guy, and I knew, because he's a little white guy, he's not going to give up. Nothing I can say will change his mind. I walked to the I didn't think about this, but I knew it. I walked to the next car. The next car is this huge Samoan guy, right? I mean, he's from the South, excuse me, the South Pacific, and he's big and he's strong. And I say to him, of course, both their engines are running. I say, "Be the bigger man." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Be the bigger man." And it's like this look went over his face, and he just went, "Okay." And he puts his car in reverse and reverse back, and the other guy goes away, and then he goes away, and then I can go home. That's redirection. It wasn't confronting anybody. What I was doing was telling the big guy, "Hey, you should be the bigger man. Don't be a little squinchy guy, be a big guy." All right? So it's exactly the same kind of thing. Now, if I had thought about what I was doing, I never would have been able to do that. I never gave anything a moment's thought, including what I was going to say. I just said it. And it worked. So those of you who are training to be therapists, remember that story. All right?
And the place name you were looking for is Mount Davidson.
Mount Davidson,
That's
exactly.
what I said.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you. Sorry. Yes, Mount Davidson. Uh-huh. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Ciao.